There's no easy way to say this, but after watching that first tape, I couldn't stop. The box sits on my desk like it's waiting for me. I told myself I'd just look at the labels, maybe check the dates, but here I am again. The VCR is still plugged in from last time, that faint smell of warm plastic lingering in the air. I sift through the cassettes, fingers brushing over faded white stickers. Most are structural reviews, like the first one, but this one catches my eye. No company logo, just black marker. Neighborhood Watch Archive, Summer 1995, Incident Log. It's thicker than the others, the plastic casing scuffed like it was handled a lot. The handwriting matches the rest, same sharp lines, same pen. I hesitate for a second, my thumb tracing the edge. What if this is worse than the last? But I slide it into the VCR anyway. Dull click. The tape whirs to life. The screen flickers with tracking lines before settling. Timestamp in the corner. July 22nd, 1995. Grainy camcorder footage, handheld shake. This isn't professional like the engineers. It's raw, amateur. Voices overlap in the audio, low and tense. The footage opens on a suburban street at dusk. Streetlights buzzing on, casting orange glows over manicured lawns and parked minivans. Kids' bikes lie abandoned on sidewalks, a forgotten basketball rolling into the gutter. The air looks thick with summer humidity, the kind that sticks to your skin. A voiceover starts, male, mid-40s, gravelly like a chain smoker. This is log entry 1. We're the neighborhood watch, not the official kind, the kind that knows something's taking our kids. The camera pans slowly to a group of 4 huddled in a shadowed driveway. The narrator, a retired detective with a faded badge clipped to his belt and lines etched deep around his eyes from too many unsolved cases. A woman in her 30s, the grieving mother, her eyes hollow and red-rimmed, clutching a photo of a smiling boy. A young guy, maybe 20, the tech kid, fidgeting with the camcorder straps, his backpack stuffed with wires and gadgets. And another man, stocky ex-military type, shotgun slung over his shoulder, scanning the street like it's a war zone. They whisper urgently about the reports, kids vanishing after hearing ice cream truck chimes at night. No bodies, no traces, just empty beds, open windows, and parents waking to silence. One family found a single melted popsicle stick on the pillow. The detective mutters, "It's not random, it's patterned." The mother nods, her voice cracking. "My boy, he said he heard music in his dreams." As the sun dips lower, painting the sky in bruised purples, the audio picks up distant music, warped and tinny, like a music box slowing down, notes bending unnaturally. The truck appears at the far end of the street, emerging from the haze like a ghost. Its lights are off except for a faint, sickly glow from the serving window, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. No engine hum, just those chimes echoing louder than they should, reverberating off houses, seeping into cracks. The hunters tense up, the camcorder zooming in shakily. A kid, maybe 8 or 9, steps out from a nearby house, barefoot in pajamas, eyes glazed over like he's sleepwalking. He moves toward the truck, small feet padding silently on the warm asphalt. The hunters whisper-shout to stop him, but their voices seem muffled, swallowed by the melody. The kid doesn't react. The serving window slides open with a soft, oily scrape. Pale hands reach out, gloved in red and white stripes, fingers too long, joints bending at impossible angles, like they're made of rubber or something worse. The kid climbs in without a sound, vanishing into the shadows inside. The window shuts with a final click. The truck rolls away, chimes fading into the night. The hunters freeze, the camcorder lingering on the empty street. Static flickers across the screen for a second, and in the distortion, faint grinning faces peer back from the noise, eyes wide and unblinking. The detective's voiceover. That's when we knew it wasn't a man. It was something else. The footage cuts to black for a moment, then jumps to daytime, sunlight harsh and unflinching. Grainy interviews with parents, their faces blurred for anonymity, but you can see the tremor in their hands, the way they glance over their shoulders. Heard the music in my dreams, one father says, voice hollow. Couldn't shake it, like it was calling me too. A mother clutches a teddy bear. She left her window open, just a crack, and then, gone. The hunters are back in a cluttered garage, maps spread across a workbench, red tacks pinning disappearance sites like wounds on paper. The patterns emerge slowly, every summer, clustered in the county's outskirts, forming loose circles around old fairgrounds and abandoned lots. The tech kid hooks up an old radio scanner, its dials glowing faintly. It picks up the chimes faintly during the day, like bleed-through FR. The camcorder swings wildly as the hunters scatter into the street. The grieving mother stabs one clown with her knife, blade sinking into fabric that feels too yielding, like piercing jelly. It dissolves into acrid smoke, tendrils curling around her wrists, but reforms behind her in a puff, arms wrapping around her throat. She screams, a raw, desperate sound, as it pulls her toward the truck's open maw. Her cries cut off abruptly, replaced by a new layer in the distant chimes. Her voice, distorted and pleading, calling her missing kid's name over and over. The tech kid blasts the boombox. Feedback screeches through the night, high-pitched and grating. The clowns glitch visibly, their forms flickering like bad VHS tracking lines, smiles distorting into grimaces. One staggers, clutching its head. "It's working," the kid yells. The detective tackles another, pounding its head with the butt of his flashlight, metal cracking against skull with wet thuds. The clown laughs through it all until the cranium splits, black ichor spilling out like oil, forming wriggling tendrils that lash at his face. He rolls away, scorched but alive. The ex-military guy gets swarmed. Two clowns pin him against the truck's side, their faces morphing to mimic his own, twisted mirrors with bulging eyes and elongated jaws. He blasts one point blank, shotgun roar lighting up the night vision in white flares. The clown shatters into fragments, but the other sinks teeth, sharp, not clown-like at all, more like jagged glass, into his neck. He gurgles, blood bubbling, fires wildly into the air, shots cracking like thunder. Then he goes limp, body slumping as the clown absorbs him, skin rippling as if digesting. Blood sprays across the lens, smearing the night vision in dark streaks. The remaining two hunters, the detective and the tech kid, retreat into the nearby fairground, feet pounding on cracked pavement, clowns pursuing in jerky strides, giggles echoing off rusted rides. They hole up in a dilapidated funhouse, mirrors cracked and dusty, reflecting infinite versions of themselves and the pursuing horrors. The clowns multiply again, 7 now, their reflections showing even more, a hall of endless grins. The entities bang on the door, wood splintering, but the hunters barricade it with overturned benches. "We need a plan," the detective gasps, wiping blood from his brow. The kid fiddles with wires, connecting the boombox to the funhouse's old PA system, speakers crackling to life. "The noise! Amp it up!" Their forms hate discord. They're tuned to that melody. Outside, claws scrape against glass, mirrors shattering one by one. A clown's face presses against a window, makeup smearing, eyes glowing faintly in the green tint. It whispers through the cracks, voices of lost children. "Come play. It's fun inside." The detective shudders, recognizing one voice as the mother's boy. The kid hits play. White noise blasts, discordant static mingled with reverse chimes, volume cranked to distortion. The clowns convulse outside, bodies jerking like puppets with cut strings, merging back into 3, then swelling into one massive form, a writhing clown mass, limbs flailing wildly, multiple faces bubbling up from the surface and sinking back in agony. Tentacles of striped fabric lash out, smashing mirrors. The detective unloads the shotgun into its core. Explosions of color and ichor spraying everywhere, the mic peaking with each blast. The thing shrieks, audio warping into a cacophony of overlapping screams, high and low pitches blending into something inhuman. It shatters finally, fragments dissolving into silent wisps that evaporate like mist. The truck outside, visible through a broken window, implodes quietly, folding in on itself like crumpled paper, metal groaning in defeat. Silence falls heavy, broken only by the hunters panting. The camcorder steadies on their faces, relief mixed with raw horror, eyes wide in the aftermath. But it's not over. They stumble out, flashlights sweeping the debris. Amid the truck's ruins, a logbook, yellowed pages fluttering in the breeze, bound in faded carnival ticket stubs. The detective picks it up, pages crunching under his fingers. Dates scrawled in childish handwriting going back decades. 1910s, 1930s, every 7 years precisely. Swarms emerging county-wide. Maps inside with red circles over playgrounds, schools, suburbs, even crossing into neighboring towns. Entries in faded ink. Harvest cycle complete. Voices stored for next chime. 47 taken this round. Whispers from old witness accounts. Blurred on accompanying Polaroids clipped to pages. Trucks in every township. Clowns taking dozens at a time. Luring with melodies that burrow into minds. Not just their neighborhood. The whole county, like a plague cycling through. The detective's voiceover cracks with realization. We killed one swarm, but they're everywhere. Every 7 years. They all come out, feeding on. They would have continued, hidden in plain sight. I checked the box again. More tapes, labels hinting at other logs, other cycles across different years. If this happened in 1995, and the pattern holds, I do the math quickly. 7-year intervals, 2002, 2009, 2016, 2023. The next one would be soon, too soon, maybe even now. I haven't watched the next tape yet, but I will, because if these entities are out there, cycling through counties, taking kids in waves, we need to know how to stop them for good. The VCR clicks off, tape ejecting with a whir. But those chimes, I swear I can still hear them faintly, like an echo in my head. The footage resumes from another log entry, timestamp jumping to July 25, 1995. The remaining hunters, the detective and the tech kid, are in a dimly lit motel room on the county's edge, curtains drawn tight. Maps cover the walls now, red lines connecting dots across the region. The kid pores over the logbook, fingers tracing entries. Look at this. Swarms documented since the 1800s, tied to traveling carnivals that vanished. They adapt, hide in trucks, fairs, even ice cream vendors during off-cycles. The detective paces, shotgun reloaded. Explains why no one's connected the dots. Cops treat them as isolated kidnappings. But county-wide, hundreds over decades. Outside, a distant chime echoes. Real or paranoia? The camcorder captures their flinch. They decide to investigate a marked site. An old carnival ground deeper in the woods, circled heavily in the book. If there's a hive or source, it's there, the kid says. They pack up at dawn, driving a beat-up van loaded with more audio gear. Speakers, amplifiers, anything to amplify discord. The road winds through dense forest, sunlight filtering in dappled patterns. Voiceover. We thought one win was enough, but the book says swarms regenerate from fragments. We might have just scattered it. Arrival at the site. Overgrown weeds choke rusted gates, faded signs reading, "Wonderland Fair, fun for all." The camcorder pans across derelict booths, cotton candy machines crusted with dirt, a carousel with horses frozen in mid-gallop, paint peeling to reveal something pale underneath. Night vision kicks in as they delve deeper, flashlights cutting through dust motes. Chimes start faintly, not from one direction but all around, like surround sound. Shapes move in the periphery, clown silhouettes darting between tents. The kid sets up a perimeter of speakers, wiring them to a generator that sputters to life. If they come, we blast them all at once. The detective nods, but his eyes dart nervously. Suddenly, the ground trembles slightly, like something stirring below. A clown emerges from a ticket booth, not lunging but standing still, smile fixed. Then another from the Ferris wheel pod. 5, 10, multiplying faster this time. They're learning, the detective whispers. Combat reignites. Shotgun blasts tear through one, but fragments skitter away like insects, reforming elsewhere. The kid activates the speakers. Static roars, clowns twitching but pressing forward. One grabs the detective's leg, dragging him toward a yawning tent flap. He fires, blowing its arm off, ichor spraying. But another leaps from above, from the carousel roof, pinning the kid. Teeth sink in, but the kid jams a knife into its eye, twisting. The entity shrieks, dissolving partially. They regroup, backs to each other, as the swarm circles tighter. The speakers overload 1 amp, feedback peaking. Clowns merge into larger forms, towering now, limbs intertwining. The hunters lure them to the center, near the generator. Now, the kid yells. They flip a switch, amplified discord blasts. Waves of noise visible as distortion on the tape. The mass convulses violently, faces melting and reforming in agony. Shotgun rounds punch holes, ichor gushing. It finally collapses, shattering into dust that the wind carries away. But in the debris, more log pages flutter, maps expanding beyond the county to state lines. It's not just here, the kid gasps. It's spreading. The footage glitches, chimes persisting. The detective flips through the new pages, flashlight beam trembling. Entries detail migrations, swarms moving from county to county every cycle, harvesting voices to strengthen their lures, storing them in some underground network of abandoned fairs. 1930s, took 82 in Ohio. 1960s, 114 in Pennsylvania. Always 7 years, always summers. Whispers rise from the speakers, even powered down. Stolen children's pleas. They burn the pages, flames crackling on tape, but the chimes don't stop. Driving back, headlights catch glimpses of trucks on parallel roads, distant giggles. Voiceover. We stopped one nest, but the book's right. They're county-wide, maybe more. And the cycle's peaking now. The tape jumps to another night, hunters fortified in a warehouse, speakers rigged everywhere. Clowns assault from vents, walls, dozens now. Fierce fight. Detective loses an arm to a bite, bandaging it mid-battle. Kid hacks a radio to broadcast noise county-wide, disrupting signals. Swarms weaken, allowing kills. But horror mounts as they find a chamber below. Cocoons of fabric holding faded photos of kids, voices emanating faintly. They're not killing them. They're collecting, preserving echoes for the melody. They destroy it all. Explosives from the ex-military's stash booming, tape shaking. Escape as the site collapses. But in the van, radio crackles with news snippets. More vanishings reported across the county that night. We slowed it, but didn't stop the harvest. Final shots, dawn breaking, hunters parting ways, eyes haunted. The tape ends with static, a single chime lingering. I eject the cassette, hands unsteady. It's warm again, warmer than before, like it absorbed the heat from those flames. The room feels too quiet now, oppressive, like those chimes could start any second outside my window. I glance at the box, tape stacked, waiting. If the patterns hold and cycles continue, what if they're still out there? I need to watch more, piece it together. But for now, the weight of it all sinks in. Those hunters thought they won battles, but the war spans generations. Counties infested, kids taken in waves, voices trapped forever in twisted melodies. We have to find a way to break the cycle permanently. If you made it this far, you know this isn't just a story. These tapes were hidden for a reason. If you've heard those chimes at night or seen a truck that shouldn't be there, tell me in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit notifications. You won't want to miss the next recording.